Welcome back to the Pioneers side. Now we're going to discuss some baseball action. The smaller ball that gets hit out of the park. The white one, not the yellow one like softball. But the baseball team, they were in action this past week. We're going to take you to the scores there as they would play a 4-game series down in Kentucky against Asbury. A triple header, something very rare you see in baseball. You need to schedule 3 games on the Saturday, 1 on the Sunday due to bad weather there. And the way that would go, game 1, a 5-1 win for Point Park. 6-4, 5-4 losses in games 2 and 3, and they would need 10 innings for this one to win it 10-6 over the Asbury Eagles due to the Pioneers there. And that's going to bring up to 2-2 in the conference there, Phil. And you look at the Pioneers, we're going to now bring in our baseball analyst, Phil Navatsyk. And Phil, the Pioneers really trying to get done the KIAC here is there's still a team that's been up and down for most of the year, but you see they're able to go into Asbury and split with them on the road. And Asbury is a very far trip for this Pioneer team.
Yeah, I think travel definitely had something to do with it. That wasn't the way they wanted to open up their conference series. We know how much talent this team has, and they were really looking to get off to at least a 3-1 start, but they were hoping to sweep that series. So I know it was a bit disappointing for the players on the team. I've talked to a couple of the guys about it, but I think one of the major factors was that 6.5-hour bus ride. That takes its toll on your body, especially, like you said, in the first year in this conference. That's tough to adjust to.
That, and they played a triple header on the first day of these games, Phil. We know you guys usually play double headers, but you've played baseball for a triple header. That's almost 6, 7, 8 hours of baseball in one day.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the last time I played a triple header was when I was about 12 years old, and I mean, you have nonstop energy back then, but now, I mean, guys, their knees are hurting them, bodies are breaking down out there. Triple headers are very tough, especially early in the season when maybe you're not in that mid-season form. So it was definitely a test of strength, of physical strength, but also mental strength as well.
And then they salvage the 4th game they're winning. That's pretty big there, Phil. Instead of going down 3-1 to them, they split it and come away with a pretty decent road trip.
Yeah, that's always the toughest part about losing 2 disappointing games, Chris, is coming back for that 4th one and managing to get that last win. They did manage to salvage the trip and come away 500 in the conference, so they still set themselves up for success for the rest of the season in the KIAC.
Now the Pioneers would make another road trip down to Kentucky, going to Pippa's Pasta versus Alice Lloyd. Let's take you to the score of game 1 there, and the Pioneers, they were all over the Alice Lloyd Eagles in this one. It was not pretty. Point Park comes away winning 11-0. McDuffie, you see there goes 2 for 4, 2 runs and RBI. Crowell, 1 for 2, 3 RBIs. Nate Spawn pitches 6 innings of shutout baseball with 6 strikeouts, but the Pioneers still under 500, 10-11 on the season, 3-4 in conference. You see for Alice Lloyd there, 6 hits for the entire team, 2 of them coming from Mills, as the Pioneers would put up 9 earned runs, 11 runs overall against Solons of Alice Lloyd. And Phil, we saw this last year, when the Pioneer bats are on, they can make any pitcher look silly, and they sure did in this one against Alice Lloyd.
Yeah, and on the flip side, for the Point Park pitchers, it's so much easier for them to pitch knowing that they'll be getting that run production. We saw Nate Spawn struggle some early in the season with just having the pressure of being that number 2 starter, but finally he's able to sit back and relax and just do his thing on the mound, knowing that his team had his back with the bats.
Now in game 2, it'd be a little bit of a different story there, a closer one there, but the Pioneers do come away with the win as we take you to the score there. The Alice Lloyd Eagles would fall again to the Point Park Pioneers by a score of 4-3. Burko goes 2 for 4, 1 run and 2 RBIs. Marlon Leyva 2 for 4, 2 runs. Isaiah March pitches 6.2 innings, allowing 5 hits, 3 runs, and 6 strikeouts. On the other side, it's going to be Hamilton 2 for 4, an RBI. Pack 1 for 3 with an RBI. Westerfield only 3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, and a strikeout, bringing the Pioneers up to 11-11 on the season, 4-4 in conference. And Phil, that's what the Pioneers need to do, as they've really been riding a roller coaster of inconsistency so far through the early going of the season.
Yeah, starting off 2-4 in the conference was definitely not what they wanted, and losing those first 2 games to Alice Lloyd was a bad way to start the weekend. But I think Coach Torres is finally set with his pitching rotation. I think he found a group that he likes with Clark, Spawn, Perdomo, and Marsh. And Isaiah, starting in his first conference game, comes out, gets 6 strikeouts. You can't ask for anything more out of your pitcher than that.
Yeah, the Pioneers' inconsistency has been the consistency this season, but it looks like they're finally trying to get it down pat. They're getting the stars involved, but the bats, they're 2 different stories, though. In back-to-back games, you put up 11 runs in the first one, but only 4 in the second one. So a little inconsistency there so far. Are they still trying to find people to fill in the places of Lee Bodner and other seniors who graduated?
Yeah, that's been the biggest concern from the start of the season, Chris, is who is going to step up and take that role. They have a lot of returning players, but we haven't really seen many people step up and take over that batting role that we saw Lee Bodner carry for so many years. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can get someone to step up and dominate in the batter's box. The way pitchers feared Bodner when he stepped in there, they need that guy because that just helps the entire rest of the team to step up.
The baseball team as well as the softball team, they haven't played too many home games yet. Really haven't had too many games overall just because of all the weather delays and cancellations and postponements. So Phil, really, how does that affect the psyche of a team to you get in game mode, but you just have to keep delaying it due to weather implications?
Oh, it's always tough. Game day is always a different feel, right? Starting right when you get up out of bed, you're always excited, looking forward to that game. When it gets delayed, it's sort of a letdown, and you have to refocus when that game gets rescheduled. Fortunately for the Pioneers, obviously in Pittsburgh here, we're used to this kind of weather. So they've made those adjustments before. They'll continue to do so for the rest of the season. I know that they're excited to get their home stretch going here in April. Playing the first 22 games on the road to start off a season is not an easy way to start.
That's going to do it for our baseball coverage there. Thanks for coming in the studio there, Phil. Great stuff as always. We're going to take another short commercial break. Be back with Teresa Davis as we discuss her being a multi-sport athlete here at Point Park University. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Pioneer Sideline here on UView.